Councillor Phil Clearwater and Councillor Megan Watts. Megan Watts.
You would be surprised how often that happens. I'm sure neither of us are pleased.
I've just demoted you to a mere parliamentarian. So.
Good morning, councillors.
Morning.
Maureen, Mayor Leanne and councillors. Look, we're certainly pleased to be here again on behalf of our chair, Jenny Huey, and we thank you for the opportunity to talk with you as a council. But we recognise that your annual plan doesn't propose any significant changes, so as previously, we want to recognise and underline our joint commitment to working together in partnership. So, and it's particularly important at this time with all of the changes that are coming from central government, and including changes to the resource management system and the evolving role of local government. So a collaborative, joined-up approach to local government is essential, and we highly value our relationship with your council. We acknowledge your contribution to the Canterbury Mayoral Forum and its various working groups, and the Climate Change Working Group in particular will be important in the coming year, with the Canterbury Climate Change Risk Assessment underpinning regional adaptation planning. And this is now more urgent with the release of the new sea level data from just last week, and it's more important than ever that we work together in this space. And the Greater Christchurch Partnership is another example where we can celebrate working together to ensure growth takes place in a planned and coordinated way. The development of the new spatial plan will be an important tool for ensuring joined up strategic planning responses right across the Greater Christchurch area. So part of this work will be continuing to work together to improve public transport in Greater Christchurch with investment needed by all partners, something Environment Canterbury has consulted on as part of developing our annual plan, which we're deliberating on later this month. And we'd also like to acknowledge your work in bringing together the activity plan to support the Otakaro Avon River Corridor. This is an exciting, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create a legacy for future generations.
I'll continue. So co-governance and co-management are very topical issues, and we look forward to continuing to work together alongside Mana Whenua and others as part of the strategic arrangements for Te Waihoura and also for Whakaora Te Healthy Harbour. Going a little off script here, co-governance and co-management as we move forward is implementing the NPS for freshwater will become much more important for us at Environment Canterbury too. Implementing the Canterbury Water Management Strategy remains a priority for Environment Canterbury, and we thank you for your strong support of the Christchurch, West Melton, Banks Peninsula and South Waihoura committees and your contribution to implementing the Zone Committee action plans. We'd like to acknowledge your initiatives to improve the health of urban waterways, including additional investment to reverse the current degradation of the waterways in our city, such as Horswell's Nottingham Stream, and working with the community on urban waterways, and look forward to working with you on other biodiversity projects too, as we set out the new biodiversity strategy in future. We support your resourcing of water-related infrastructure and are particularly encouraged by the prioritisation of the Kokoralata drinking water scheme. But for Banks Peninsula more broadly, we strongly support funding and development of a Banks Peninsula water servicing strategy and prioritise and improve wastewater and drinking water services for that area. Obviously, there will be some changes with Three Waters, but your support of pushing for a Banks Peninsula strategy would be appreciated. Finally, we're delighted at your commitment, including funding for Enviro Schools and the Toimata Foundation collaboration agreement. We look forward to working together in Christchurch in the coming year to support more young people connecting with and understanding of their local environment. Thank you for your time today, and we'd reiterate the importance of working collaboratively in areas of shared interest. But before I finish, just in recognition that we may not be in this format again, I'm sure we'll see each other again before the end of term, but we'd like to thank both Leanne and Andrew and acknowledge your term as Mayor and Andrew, your support in the Deputy role and your dedicated service to both Christchurch and Greater Christchurch. Also acknowledging Councillor Galloway and Chen and obviously Catherine in the last few years too. So thank you while we've had the opportunity in this format to do that for your service, and we look forward to continuing to work together for the rest of the term.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Mike Davidson.
Thank you for your submission and the your willingness to work in partnership in a lot of these areas that we cross over. Just in regards, and I know you had submissions on it yourself, the inner city shuttle. Are you open as you can to a conversation with Christchurch City Council on how we can actually reinstate that service?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. We're open to a conversation. I guess it's just how we manage that, and just and I guess the other possibility too is just what other contributions a private partnership might allow us.
I think it's important to note that our council is very ambitious with respect to public transport, and our biggest constraint is funding and resource. Obviously, we're not in the same position as you are as a council with respect to resource, particularly in the financial space. So we're always really open to working to improve public transport, both service and ways to get more people using public transport. And so, yeah, your support in that moving forward would be great. You'll see from our annual plan that we are ambitious, but we have some constraints on the finance and resource side that if we had all of the money in the world, we would do significant investment further than what we've had.
Thanks. And you see a place, for the inner city shuttle in Christchurch?
Phil, would you like to?
Absolutely. I think Mike, certainly people of my generation are well aware that previously it worked very well, and there's every possibility that it will work well in the future. So personally, I certainly see a place for it, and happy to have further conversations.
Right, thank you.
Yanni?
Thank you. I note that you said that you're happy with council's investment in our urban waterways. Are you comfortable with the fact that we're not spending enough to stop our urban waterways from degrading?
Would you like me to comment,
You
Phil?
go first.
Look, Yanni, we're happy to see that you have invested. We will certainly not say no to further investment and would encourage that if you're in a position to do so.
And can I add too, Yanni, that I think that councillors' involvement in the urban water partnership, that's been a great step forward, and certainly we enjoy looking at ways, particularly to supporting all the community groups, and they're the ones who are doing the work, and I think that is a great way forward, and I'm sure you'd support that too.
Anything else, Yanni?
Oh, well, just to be clear, you would support us putting additional funding on to improve the quality or the health of our urban waterways?
I think
that's not really a question. I mean, what would be ECAN's
Would you
view
support
of the
extra-
priorities? In
Could you
terms
just
of the
repeat your question,
priorities,
Leanne?
We've obviously adopted one in our annual plan this time, Nottingham Stream. Do you think that, do you have a view on that or any other priorities that ECAN's particularly aware of?
Well, I think that Nottingham Stream, I would understand, is about the most polluted stream in our city. And so starting with those, ensuring that those serious ones are cleaned up.
Starting with those, it's adding those to the list
Adding
that
those.
we are addressing.
Well, I guess I would ask council to ensure that they are added, actually. I agree with your sentiment, Yanni. I think that we really have to invest in cleaning up our waterways.
We require our rural communities to invest in cleaning up waterways quite strongly. And my personal view, and there's certainly a strong view around the table, is that the expectation falls on urban centres as well.
Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you. When we talk about cleaning up waterways and the most contaminated, etc., we've really got to start with the source to the source. So would you be supportive with regards to lobbying government, with regards to banning copper brake pads, etc., and other things, as they have done in California? It can be done, but we just seem to be floating around doing nothing.
So look, absolutely, Tim, and we have already asked central government to bring forward legislation around, for example, banning the copper brake.
And what was
pads.
the response from central government?
Well, it's been pretty low key, I think, is the answer.
That would be polite.
I've got another response, because I write at least annually to the appropriate minister. There's been a few on this very subject, and the last one suggested that MFE were doing some research on the subject. I don't know what part of copper brake pads contribute to what goes into our rivers. They don't get.
And then alongside that, Mary-Ann, I think it's certainly a whole area of education for people in Greater Christchurch, so people are aware of when they go to renew their brake pads or they need renewing, and mechanics are all across this too. So it's an education. But certainly we thank you for your
Advocacy.
for the work advocacy for central government.
Relevant
Exercise
your
of
persistence.
frustration. Perhaps we should send a joint missive
Yeah.
to the minister.
When they talk about research, perhaps irrelevant of the governor, who the governor of California is, perhaps they should just ring the governor's office and find out what they've actually done and what they did over 15 years ago. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you, Aaron. So.
Yeah, I just had a question around the electrification of the bus fleet, and because it pertains to our budgets going forward, is you've gone with the Chinese built model, which is overweight, which needs an exemption, which does damage to the roads, but not using the New Zealand built model, which is more expensive. I understand that, but you have to pay road user charges, which would exceed the cost difference. So are you reconsidering that?
Well,
because it works out cheaper in the long run.
Basically, we are looking at, well, we have already purchased, as you're probably aware, Councillor, a good number. I think it's about 28 electric buses already that are now on the road, and we in our budget we are purchasing another 28 electric buses.
Of the overweight ones.
But I guess that's a technical matter. I think the main thing is that the buses be attractive to people, that they work well. The new electric buses are much lighter than the previous battery buses. We also are purchasing a number of low diesel emission.
The ECAN has come here to make a submission on our annual plan. So when we have honestly, there is an opportunity for us.
I thought I got one past the goalie for a moment. The goalie woke up. Thank you.
You're welcome in our chamber any time, Aaron.
Aaron just caught me out. I took my eye off the ball. So look, thank you guys very much for your submission today. Give my regards to the chair, and please sort of pass on the offer that we make a joint representation now to Minister. I think it's Kitty Allen is the latest one that holds the pen on the portfolio.
Thank you. And
Thank
nice
you,
to see everybody
Yeah.
in person.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll do that.
See you later.
The next submission is John.